Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Godzilla vs. Kong Battle Damage Mechagodzilla. Really quick, I just want to say, it's so cool that Mechagodzilla is in the Monsterverse now. I remember back when 2014 came out, a little after that, I remember there was news for a sequel, and they announced that, Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah were going to appear. And I thought it was really cool, because, we're getting, traditional Toho monsters in, these American-made Godzilla movies. And I didn't think we'd ever see Mechagodzilla, but, it's just really cool to see him. I mean, his design, I don't know about his design. I don't hate it by any means. I do like it, but I don't think it's my favorite, if I'm being completely honest. But yeah, either way, it's still really cool that he's going to be in the movie. As of me recording this, the movie isn't out yet, but it's so sick. I love it. So, yeah. So, with that out of the way, let's just get right into this. Of course, this version of Mechagodzilla comes from Godzilla vs. Kong, which, well, as I just said, hasn't come out yet. So, yeah. So, yeah, let's just do this. So, before we take a look at Mechagodzilla himself, we'll take a look at his accessory. He comes with a HEAV, HEAV, sort of, not really vehicle, but aircraft. But, yeah, this time it's green. The one that came with the Skullcrawler, that one was gray. And, yeah, we have a little paint for the windshield, but that's pretty much it. No articulation, but the sculpting and everything like that, it looks alright. Not too bad. So, yeah, it's just like with a lot of these, aircrafts that come with these, battle damage figures. They're there. They're not great. No one's going to buy them no one's going to buy the battle damage figures just for these, but they exist. They're a little bonus with the figure, so that's neat, I guess. So, yeah. Anyway, now for Mechagodzilla himself. And first, we'll take a look at the paint. And the painting on this figure, as far as these Playmates figures go, I think it's the best, but it's still not perfect. So let's take a closer look. So, of course, most of the body is this metallic silver, which does look okay. It would have been nice if it was, a little shinier, if it looked, more metallic than this, because right here it just looks gray. So maybe make it, a little more shiny, but that's just me. Of course, we do have hints of red, on his chest right here, his eyes here, and even his, dorsal plates here. They're all painted red. And honestly, that's really it as far as, the painting on this figure go. Just gray and red. And also, the battle damage bit. I'll show that off real quick. The underside is a very dark shade of gray, which it would have been cool if, the rest of the figure was this color. And I guess have, a darker color for the underside of it. But, yeah. That's pretty much it for the paint. Not a whole lot. I mean, there's a little bit of gray in his mouth here. But, yeah, there's not a lot here. To be honest, you don't really need that much. It's just metallic and a little bit of red. So, yeah, the painting on this figure, it's not terrible. It's very clean. Probably, in my opinion, the best, best painted figure in the entire Battle Damage line. But it could still be better. So, yeah. That's pretty much it for the paint. Again, not a whole lot to talk about, so not bad. There could be more, but it's not bad. So honestly, the painting on this figure, I'd say gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the articulation, and I actually really like the articulation on this figure. A pretty decent amount. So, of course, the mouth is on a hinge, so it can open and close, but it looks kind of weird with his mouth closed. It almost looks like in those old, Rubber Hose cartoons, or not Rubber Hose, but, old cartoons, whenever, a character gets really mad, in Tom and Jerry, I guess. But, yeah, you probably know what I'm talking about. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. The arms can move forward this much, and backwards about that much. This, shoulder plate gets in the way, and they can move outwards like so. So, if you wanted Mechagodzilla to T-pose, there you go. The legs can kick forward that much, and backwards this much. And there's a bend at the knee, so honestly, that's really cool. And of course, the tail is on a ball joint. And that's pretty much it for the articulation on this figure. And the articulation here isn't terrible. I don't hate it. You know, it would have been nice if the elbows were articulated and maybe have like swivels for the hands here, but other than that, the articulation on this figure, it's alright. I don't mind it. So the articulation, I'd say gets a pass. And of course, that battle damage bit, I guess that kind of counts as articulation. So, yeah, the articulation, I'd say it gets a pass. Now we'll take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure is alright. It looks good, but again, he has like kind of an overbite here, so when his mouth is closed, it looks weird. But yeah, no, overall, the sculpting looks nice. We haven't seen him in any of like the trailers or anything like that. So let's talk about the design for a second. The design, well, first of all, it's very clear he works out because his arms are like huge. Like Mechagodzilla lifts. Like I don't know how a robot can build muscle, but he does, and he will, punch you if you say anything about his son. But yeah, of course the dorsal plates here are a lot smaller than how Godzilla's dorsal plates are in like Godzilla vs. Kong. So it reminds me of like the 2014 movie, how like the dorsal plates on that design were a lot smaller. Very Terminator-esque too, especially in the face. That reminds me of like a Godzilla Terminator. I know the Angry Video Game Nerd for like his Godzilla-thon way back in like 2008, I think. He said that like the original Mechagodzilla was a lot like a Terminator, but the design here especially looks like a Terminator. So yeah, the design itself, it's not my favorite Mechagodzilla design, but I don't hate it either. I do like it. So, yeah. And honestly, that's pretty much it for the sculpting here. The sculpting on this figure is good. I like it. So the sculpting here gets a pass. Now take a look at the detailing. And the detailing on this figure is... it's not great. And usually, like, the detailing here is it's just not really well defined, which normally wouldn't be an issue, but you have all these like mechanical panels, so it almost looks like he's this weird goo monster if you look at him from afar. But the detailing on the face here, all the bits of like mechanical detailing, looks alright. And we have like all these panels and everything. So there's a lot of detailing here, and if this was better like defined, it would look a lot better, but unfortunately it just isn't. However, the underside of the battle damage bit, that is actually detailed very nicely. Everything is just very nicely defined. But besides that, nothing is really too defined. Let's just get that back on. But also, I should have talked about this with the paint, but I'm just noticing this now. The battle damage piece is a slightly different color than the rest of the body. Not an issue, but I just thought it was interesting. So yeah, we have very like nice bits of detailing on the side of the body. This looks a lot like a rib cage, so I do like that. But the side of the legs here, very like mechanical and everything like that. Just a lot of nice detailing here, and even the feet are detailed very nicely. Going to the tail here, of the mechanical bits and everything look really nice. And yeah, that little blade bit at the end of his tail, that looks really nicely detailed as well. So that's pretty much it for the detailing on this figure. And the detailing on this figure isn't terrible. If it was like more defined, I would say it definitely gets passed, but it's not. So some of the bits of detailing just look like weird like goop, like a weird gooey monster. So it just some of the detailing looks a little weird, but some of it looks pretty good. So honestly, the detailing on this figure, I'd say gets 3/4 of a pass. So at the end of the day, should you get this? I'd say yeah. Again, like these like Playmates figures, they're not bad at all. I don't think so. I know a friend of mine at college, he hates these things. He just thinks they just look really ugly. And to be fair, some of them, the painting could be improved, but like as far as the sculpting and the actual build, because like these like are very like durable figures. They feel durable. That's something I can't really say about Mattel's Jurassic World toy line. I know I just made that video talking about like the issues, but like, those figures, they feel cheap. I'm sure they're durable, but they just feel cheap. This figure feels very solid, as well as like the rest of the Godzilla vs. Kong figures. So like, as far as being like a collector's piece to like display on a shelf, these aren't the best, and there are better options. But as far as like, playthings for kids, I think they're great, and I think kids will love these. So yeah, at least the battle damage line. I don't know about the bigger figures, but the battle damage line, like, I feel like a kid would enjoy. So yeah. Anyway, if you want to know how big he is, here he is with the Skull Crawler, and here he is with Warbat. I would bring out Godzilla and Kong, but they're in my dorm, unfortunately, so I can't really go back to college and pick them up just for this review. I am home for the weekend, so yeah, I had time to record videos, so that's why we're here. So, yeah. Anyway, if you want to know, other size comparisons, here is Dr. Billy Grant, and here we have some hand sanitizer. Let me just fix this frame here like we normally do. And there we go. As far as the price goes, this figure is about like $10, which honestly isn't bad. The figure itself is of good quality, and you're getting a little bonus too. So this battle damage line, they're all $10, but they're not bad figures at all. I like them for what they are. They could be better, but they're simple, and I like them. So, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.